So this is the OnePlus 13R, and today we're going to speed test battle it against the Galaxy S24 Ultra to see if this affordable flagship can match up to the actual flagship over here in the speed test. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and begin the speed test with a boot up in 3, 2, and go, and see which one could get there first. Now, the reason I'm making this video is I know these don't compete in the same price category. However, I've been seeing articles on the internet as well as some people talking in the comments about how impressed they are with the 13R. And I've been seeing some headlines saying, well, why do you need a full price flagship when we have stuff like the 13R now? We're going to see if it really stacks up to a true one here. And the Galaxy S24 Ultra says, sit down, young boy. I'm going to go ahead and take the W there on the boot up. So the Galaxy S24 Ultra will take the first win. However, been noticing the 13 series doesn't turn on as fast as some other competing phones. For some reason, I'm not sure, but we'll see how much closer they get in the other tests. What's really nice about the OnePlus 13R, and it matches that of the S24 Ultra though, is that it has a flat screen, and it also does have a similar feel in hand. Even though this is titanium, this feels pretty similar. Like the back feels cold to the touch, it feels nice on the edges, it feels pretty similar in quality. But you'll see over here, just generally scrolling through, everything is very buttery smooth, and that's very nice. So you don't really have to worry about anything with that. I actually don't see almost any perceptible difference between this smartphone here and the OnePlus 13 that just came out. Whether I'm swiping over here to the control quick panel area, if I swipe over here, I go on the left, pull down the notifications, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I also noticed that if we swipe over here, this is also pretty smooth, even smoother than some other Android phones that I've seen here. When going over the Google page, you don't really see any perceptible lag. Also, the going back gesture on this OnePlus is super smooth. And I just think overall, you're going to see some really great UI performance here with Oxygen OS, which is the software we're going to be running here on this device. So I click right here. It's the latest update that they have for this phone. It has the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 you're going to find on the Galaxy, and it also has the Trinity engine. In addition, it does have a pretty good GPU as well. So I think it's going to stack up pretty close here. For the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, we are on One UI Beta 3, and I've been doing some speed tests with this, even though it's not official software, because it still runs buttery smooth. If it was laggy or choppy, I wouldn't even do it. But because it's been showing really great performance, I really like that. Now this over here, when swiping over, you've seen on that first swipe, it was a little bit slower than usual, but that I don't even think that's a beta thing, because I've been seeing that on Samsung phones forever. But just kind of like going through this, Samsung's on another level than where they used to be years ago, and it's really, really welcome change because their animations are now super smooth. The whole UI is very feature packed and also has a lot of great ecosystem options, and everything you kind of do on here feels just pretty great. Going back gestures, non-linear, everything looks so nice for this phone over here. Let's go ahead and go over here, scrolling through. You can see it's fast, it's smooth, it's very nice. And the Adreno 750 on both of them should pretty much match up here. So we'll see. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do a quick fingerprint sensor test. Oh, that phone's about to slip out of my hand. These phones are huge. Don't get it twisted. Just because they might not look so big in my hand, they are definitely some big phones. And I missed that first fingerprint sensor on the OnePlus, and I missed it again. And there it goes. Let's do it again. 3, 2, go. User error over here. And there you go. That's more of a legit test right there. But we are looking at a area of the fingerprint, which I don't like on the OnePlus 13R. I think it's way too low, especially for this phone, because this phone is huge. So when they're low and it's huge, it ergonomically doesn't feel good. But definitely it's fast. You see, when I do get it, it definitely is about the same speed, if not maybe slightly faster than the S24 Ultra. But this is an ultrasonic on the right. You'll have to go to the regular OnePlus 13 to get that ultrasonic sensor that you find over here on the right on the S24 Ultra. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do this app test. We'll go into calendar, and you can see faster for the Galaxy S24 Ultra. If I swipe up out of there, the speed looks to be going to the OnePlus, but that non-linear animation looks pretty nice there on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Heading over into clock, and clock was faster on the right. We'll go to world clock here. You'll see we do have this nice clock, but you can switch between analog or digital on there. That's pretty cool. Let's go over here to stopwatch, and I'm assuming that one's actually not the same. Let's go over here to timer, and you'll see pretty similar performance when in these applications. Let's go into calculator, and you'll see both of these look pretty similar, with the Samsung with a little bit of a different look. Swipe up out of there, we'll go into weather, and Samsung looks to have a speed advantage on that one. Which weather app do you like better? Personally, I like the Pixels weather app, but that's just me. Let's swipe up out of here. We'll head into news, and we'll swipe up over here to technology, which is the category we're talking about. We're over here on the right. We're already seeing news about the Galaxy S24, S25 Ultra, which is going to be the upgrade from this phone, and some pretty good trade-in deals already rumored. So that's going to be pretty good. When in here, everything is about the same. So right now, if you were using either one of these phones, you wouldn't be able to tell that you're using a flagship or not. Technically, while the OnePlus 13R is not going to be at a flagship level in the camera, it's definitely there in the performance. Let's go into X, because it has the same performance or the same chipset and GPU as S24 Ultra, and similar to that of the OnePlus 12. So you can see even in X, no perceptible differences there in performance. We'll go on Instagram. So I'm going to skip Instagram because I wasn't able to get in on this phone. For some reason, it wouldn't let me log in. Let's go into Amazon here, and you'll see Amazon was first there on the right. Scrolling through, both are going to be a similar effect. Swiping out. Let's go into YouTube, and we'll go over here to trending, and how about music? And you'll see both of them showing almost no difference whatsoever. So consider this though, the OnePlus 13R is going to cost you right around $599. The S24 Ultra was well over $1,000, but you're really, I think, paying for the cameras when you do this, because you can just get a phone like this and have great performance, similar, almost identical, maybe even better in some areas, for way less money. So take your pick. It really comes down to, I think these flagship, the higher end versions really come down to, do you want that amazing camera? You don't have to buy like iPhone 16 Pro Max, S25 Ultra, the top of the line Pixel device. You don't have to buy these phones if you don't care about the camera that much, or you're not a heavy camera user. I actually think you're throwing away money if you buy those devices and you're not a heavy camera user, unless you really want the long software support. Like, you got to really ask yourself, do you keep your phone 5 to 7 years? If you do, I would not recommend the 13R, as this one has 4 years, but you got to really have to keep your phone that long for the other ones to make more sense. Let's go into real racing from a price perspective, because you can see there are options out there like the 13R giving you incredible performance. The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is basically the king of smartphones though. So you're going to pay for that. You want the king of smartphones, you're going to pay. It's not going to be free. It's not going to be cheap. And I actually think the S25 Ultra might see a price hike. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe like $100. Let's go ahead and see. Go to continue. Both of them loaded that pretty close. And unlike the 13, which was beating the OnePlus 13, which was beating this Galaxy S24 Ultra, the 13R is just hanging right there with it, basically neck and neck. Wins it out in Free Fire. And here comes the Samsung behind. So the Samsung was a little slower there. We'll go into Geekbench 6, and that one was to the right. Go to 3D Mark, and that one, I didn't even see it. It was so close. Let's swipe up out of there. We'll go into Speed Test Net, and that was first on the right. And let's go ahead and head into InShot. And I think that was first on the Samsung. So overall, I seen the Samsung load a few more faster. So I do think it was a little bit quicker. But some of them were loading faster than the OnePlus 13R, and it was basically neck and neck. So having the same CPU but having a massively different price tag means the real sacrifice here is the camera, probably the longevity and software support. That's where the Samsung really shines, as well as the extra features and the ecosystem. But the OnePlus is incredible value you've seen right here for day-to-day performance. It's going to be neck and neck, same type of performance as a top-of-the-line flagship. It really is impressive. All right, guys, so let's go ahead now and run through the RAM management here for the OnePlus 13R, and we'll see if it can hold these applications in the background. And so far, buttery smooth here on the device. This is 12 gigabytes of RAM, so we are looking at the same as the Samsung. And we do have a reload here for some reason. I do believe maybe that gaming engine sometimes closes some stuff. I could be wrong. Let me know. Or we didn't even open Instagram. Let's go into Play Store, and it relaunched Google. And let's go ahead and head into weather, and we'll go on a calculator, clock, and calendar, which reloaded as well. So not perfect there. For some reason, it was closing some apps. I wonder if they're doing some memory freeing up in the background there for this phone, because it does have 12 gigs of RAM. It could be because this RAM booster thing is on here. So if I go to here and I just go RAM, if we go here, I wonder if this is causing it, this expanded RAM. Let me know why they're closing those apps in the background. I'm not exactly sure why. Let's go ahead and go through the Samsung, and you could see very smooth, holding everything so far. A little bit of a blink effect there for Free Fire. We'll go over here to Subway Surfers, another blink. It did have Race the Sun open. That's good. The animation looks slower, but it definitely looks very visually pleasing there. We'll head up out of here. We'll go on to Instagram. Well, we didn't go in there anyway. We'll go into X, Play Store, News, Weather, Calculator, Clock, and Calendar. So I do think the Samsung did a little bit better here. A few apps relaunched there for some reason on the OnePlus 13R, but generally the animation's a little slower here and a little faster on the 13R. So before I run the Geekbench test, I want to show you that they don't have exactly the same clock speeds on the fourth cluster. The Samsung is slightly overclocked compared to the OnePlus 13R. Samsung Snapdragons are a little bit overclocked some of the time, so they can be a little bit faster feeling than other Snapdragon devices. So let's go ahead and run this Geekbench 6, and we'll be back with the final results. So the Galaxy S24 Ultra has one here in Geekbench 6, and just like I talked about, slightly overclocked, shows it here with a little bit better score on a single core and a little bit better on the multi-core. Not substantially so though, and not much of enough to make a difference in anything you will probably notice in your day-to-day life. So let's go ahead and do a Wildlife Extreme test and see how well these stack up next to each other. I will say though that the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra was super impressive last year. However, the regular OnePlus 13 definitely outshined it in my previous test, and I was kind of mind blown by the performance of that phone. But I wonder if the OnePlus 13R will also give us a similar score, or if it will just kind of match what 2024's best look like. So I'll be back when they're done. And the OnePlus 13R has beat the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra in the Wildlife Extreme test by 400 points. Well, not quite, but close to 400 points. 2 frames per second better. That's telling you something here. Scoring better than 92% of devices, scoring better than 89%. So the OnePlus 13R can actually feel faster in gaming than the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Depending on what game you're playing, likely it's really, really impressive for the price. I don't know how many other phones are going to be touching this for that $599 price point. That was pretty impressive right there. So let's go ahead and just see which one can launch the camera faster, and then we'll head up out of here. 3, 2, go. And that was the OnePlus 13R. We'll go ahead and swipe up out of here. We'll do it again. 3, 2, go. OnePlus 13R. Let's go ahead and do a shutter speed. You can see both of them tend to perform that action at about the same time. So I don't think we're going to see a massive difference here when it comes to that. So anyway, let's wrap it up here. OnePlus 13R is definitely a 2024 flagship phone. Chipset, RAM, pretty much the whole thing besides the probably not a flagship grade camera for like half the price. So an incredible value, I think, if you're looking for a phone that performs substantially well. You don't want to buy a last year used phone for around this price, or maybe a little more. They're usually around $700-800, so this is even cheaper than those. This could be a steal for a lot of people. However, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra did win out in Geekbench and also seemed to turn on faster. It had a little bit quicker speed in some apps, and I do feel like it's a little bit overclocked, so I think it's a little bit quicker than this phone. However, the gaming pulled ahead on the OnePlus 13R, so I mean, they're close. They're really right there. So stay tuned. We're going to be covering the S25 Ultra soon, as well as many more comparisons, as well as reviews this year. So I hope to see you around. I'll catch you on the next one, and let me know which one you would pick of these two. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.